Okay, excuse the hair. This is not helmet head from a motorcycle. This is me trying to grow it out, and I think I'm going to lose many friends in the process. See this here? I call this the cockatiel cut of 2020. Anyway, the question I want to answer, which I get often, is how do I get over being cheated on? And first, I want to say that I'm not a big fan of the word get over. A lot of people say, I need to get over that person. I need to get over my ex. I think it's loaded. I think that there's pressure when you tell yourself that you need to get over something. There's like this ticking clock. So let's not say that you need to get over someone cheating on you. You need to heal and move on, right? You need to understand. You may need to forgive. What you really need to do, and this is kind of my big throw, my big I don't know why I'm doing this, and I'm throwing an axe, but this is kind of my angle into this question, which I get often, and it's not about the behavior that manifests that's going to get you to start healing. I think I want to talk more about your mindset. So when someone cheats on you, and infidelity is complicated, right? But when there is infidelity, yes, you're going to blame. Yes, you feel betrayed. And yes, it's okay to have all these feelings of anger, of betrayal, of confusion, of all these things. But if you stay, and it's okay to stay there for, a little bit, right? Because you're human. But if you stay in that for too long, what's going to happen is if you believe that someone did something to you, and I understand on paper that might be what happened, but if you believe that someone did something to you, someone took something from you, someone betrayed you, you're putting yourself into a to-me mindset. And the to-me mindset, victim mode, is the most powerless state. So what you're doing is you're going to create your own prison by staying in this blaming, negative, someone did this, we've been together for 10 years, and he fucking cheated on me, and all of that. I think it's okay, because you're human, to feel that and to process it. But after a while, because what's important is you don't stay there, you got to get to a place where you go from to me to for me or through me. And in order to do that, I think one of the fastest ways in is to actually take ownership. Now, hold on. If this has happened to you, you're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why should I take ownership of someone that, did something wrong to me? But listen, every relationship is 50%, meaning that you're 50% of any relationship. And yes, your contribution to someone cheating on you may be like 3%. I don't know. But here's what's important. By taking ownership, by thinking about how you've contributed, because the behavior of infidelity is only the tip of the iceberg. Usually there's been drift. Usually there's been, miscommunication. There's been abusive fights maybe. There's been toxicity. There's been unsafe spaces. There's been people not being heard. There's been a lot of people doing life around each other, right? And that causes drift. And there's no way that you don't have you haven't contributed to that in some way, right? So what happens is, as you start to review and own your piece in it, then you take the power back. Then you go from a to me to a for me, or maybe eventually a through me, meaning you see the incident as the manifestation of other things that's been happening, and you take responsibility for your piece in that. I'm not saying you're going to get there right away. I'm just saying that's the island to swim to. That's where I think where healing begins, because if you're just blaming and angry, and now not believing in love, and now you're afraid, and all of these things that can happen from infidelity, or you believe that because this happened to you, all men cheat or all women cheat, or all of that, and then you decide that you're not going to invest in someone or show yourself. All of that creates your own prison, right? All of that gets you to not be vulnerable, but disengage and hide. And it's all powerless, and it's all going to make you more afraid. The love stove will be hot, whether that stove is on or not. And then, of course, you're setting up yourself for another bad experience, right? Going into a relationship whenever you're ready with fear. and that rarely works out. So getting to a place, and you have to decide what that looks like for you, but getting to a place where you start to own, getting to a place where you go from to me to a for me or through me by starting to own. That's one way to do it. Own your piece of it, even if it's 1%, whatever your truth is. Own how you've contributed to this, what you've learned from it, what you're willing to work on. All of these create a power-filled state instead of a powerless state. So that's the beginning of the healing process, and you're not going to get over it. You're also not going to get under someone else. You're going to take what happened, and this is just a general life rule, whether it's infidelity or an event or a termination, whatever that has happened to you that has been negative and bad, and you feel like you've been clipped at the knees, take the learning from that, because whenever something like this happens, the soil is very rich for growth. When you're ready, not the day after, give yourself some self-care and compassion and all that. But after or as you go through the feels, understand that there are a lot of valuable lessons in soil here. Take your learning and know that that's going to make you a stronger person, a more loving person. Refuse to allow people that have hurt you to taint your ability to love. And by doing so, you're going to feel empowered. And maybe you'll come out the other end realizing that you dodged a bullet. And maybe one day you'll realize that needed to happen for your growth to evolve. Maybe that was the first domino in a journey that led you closer to your truth, your evolution, and a better version of yourself. So then you could bring that to the table in your next relationship.